Beauty. Welcome, folks, to OFSAA AA basketball here in Windsor on OFSAA.on.ca. Welcome, folks, to the WFCU Center here in Windsor, Ontario. I am your host, Brett Hedges, alongside James J.K. Kennedy, getting set to tip off with the OFSAA bronze medal game. And James, I think it's really cool that high school basketball finishes after the college season. It's kind of celebrating the grassroots level of the game a little bit, and it brings you back to the grassroots level. And this is a lot of fun to talk.
And U Sport is done, but you are in the right place for basketball, our sport of choice for the day in the Rose City. Nice to be here to see these teams. There's only 3 teams that come to the OFSAA finals that get to go home with a victory. One is John Paul II from Scarborough. They punched their ticket with a consolation championship just before this match, and the bronze medalists will go home with a victory, and of course the gold medalists will go home with a victory as well. So they still put a bit of pride here to play for, and a chance for these teams to keep building their programs, both of which have played well over 35 games this year, so this one's a big one.
And of course we have Ashbury taking on St. Francis here in the OFSAA bronze medal game. Ashbury has controlled on the opening tip. 3 ball is up and away and is off the mark. Thank you.
Pemberton will take a lot of threes in this game, as will Ashbury. They're comfortable and confident with that.
Drive and kick. Extra pass to the reverse wing. 3 ball is up and out.
There's Warku, the workhorse. He's a beast on the boards. He had about 15 boards in the last game. It was a semifinal defeat at the hands of the number 1 ranked Frontenac Falcons, but Warku did his job, that's for sure.
Off the bounce, and we're going to have our first foul of the game, going to the rack with authority, and drawing the foul, number 13 of Ashbury.
First foul of the game called by our 3rd team on the court. That was called by Blake Hanser. Blake Hanser is a Dresden-Chatham native, been a long-time referee in the Chatham community. And, of course, Trevor Mulder, a little bit new to the refereeing side of things, but has moved up the ranks quite quickly. He's been on the panel for 3 years here in Windsor.
And, of course, you can't talk about basketball in southwestern Ontario without the Hanser family, as there's Warku on the
that's for sure.
baseline.
Yeah, I am not sure if they're going to have an answer for Warku inside. St. Francis is up against it, as they say here today.
And a nice drive to get up and around the defender by number 4, Quentin Demo.
Demo was quick on that first step. Oh, there's a good look there. Wuku again. Oh, nice pass. Excellent work on the inside. Good work there by Huckabone.
Huckabone to Warku, and it's 4-2. Quick 3 is off the rim, but tracked down by the Phoenix, number 5. Max Riddell with the rebound there.
Size advantage does seem to favor the Ashbury College boys. The Colts are well suited in that department. Clock is.
There's a turnover here. Ashbury.
Huckabone, wow. And there's Warku, who's doing his work again. That's 3 rebounds for him already, 2 on the defensive end and 1 on the offensive end. Silly turnover.
Picked off, going back the other way. Spot up 3, and it's good.
Yeah, spot up 3. That's what we call the one-pass offense. They're not shy. They're going to be firing it.
Igor Mbaya with the 3 ball, and it is 5-4 in favor of St. Francis. Here's Ashbury now. Ethan Larond looking inside, swings it out. Cutter misplaced the ball. It's a turnover going the other way. Off the glass with a nice left-hand finish. There's Mbaya with 5 consecutive points. 7-4 in favor of St. Francis.
Mini run here for the silver-colored home team.
Huckabone for 3.
Whoa. Got to get his legs under it.
Yep.
Fatigue will be a bit of a factor in this game. Both of these teams played their semifinal at 9 o'clock this morning, and this will be the 5th game in 3 days for them, and they're on the biggest court they have to play on. So a number of factors are going to show up in a fatigue type of thing. And some of these guys need to get their legs underneath them first, maybe a little bit of dribble drive action first. Huckabone was deep for that three.
Pass intended on the low block is picked off. Here comes Ashbury spotting up. Nope. Hesitation dribble goes off the glass and will draw the foul.
Saw a lot of that from Pemberton in the first game. He generates a lot of offense, both as a distributor and a penetrator. And his little hezzy there was enough to get by the defender. Wasn't able to get it up and over the rim, but tremendous attack for him.
Isaiah Pemberton, 6'2", grade 12 student from Ashbury College, the Colts. Head coach is Ian McKinnon, assistant Eric Johansson, assistant Darren Pemberton, and assistant Medine Admasu. So a split on the trip to the free throw line makes it 7-5 in favor of St. Francis. And Ashbury nearly comes up with a turnover there.
Huckabone active hands. Worku with a good defense on the shot there, and Huckabone cleans up the refuse. Good hands.
Good patience down low.
Go up again. There you go. Padding his rebounding stats right there. He's got 4 in his first deuce. Ties it up.
7-7 here. St. Francis, the Phoenix, to respond. Here comes Ashbury. That three is off the mark. Quickly coming back now are the Phoenix. Off the bounce.
Of a one-man zone action for, he missed that rebound, was Worku. The backside help is there. Turnover goes against the Phoenix.
Good defense from Ashbury leads to the turnover. Worku. And Worku will get to the bench. And you talk about this being the 5th game in this tournament. How much does having a deep bench might affect a team's ascension in this tournament?
Generally, the deepest bench is going to get you deepest in the tournament. Mm-hmm. And when you've got the first and second ranked teams playing for the gold medal, both of them, they don't go too deep, but when they do go to the bench, there's not as big of a drop-off, and that's the main factor. It's the fact that you can not only trust your bench, but use your bench. Way to stand in there. Well above the ring. Mm-hmm. Good job on the defensive end. The big man can take a charge if he needs to. Gotta like that. Good step up by Spiteri.
Spiteri had the missed basket on the other end, but got himself back, hustled all the way back, planted his feet. And that's the stuff that coaches love to see.
Said, Brett, is that Spiteri comes off the bench, he immediately contributes on the defensive end by taking the charge. That's a team player.
High screen is thwarted, so we'll give it back to Pemberton. Backdoor cut. Off the glass, just a little too strong. Off a couple hands, and it ends up with the Phoenix. Quickly up the floor. Mbaya. He turns it over. Pemberton now.
Pemberton with the hezzy.
Just can't complete down low. Mbaya quickly up the floor. And finishing in transition.
A bit of the scoring drought there. We went from turnover to missed shot. So 4-point run here after being tied at 7. Good work by St. Francis.
Kasamba with the basket, and it's 11-7. A little bit of a zone look here. Here's Pemberton with the long 2, and he gets it to drop. Mbaya. Double high screen. Entry pass to the high post and knocks it down. Kasamba once again. And it's 13-9. Pemberton, step back jumper. No good. Rebounded. Ball is knocked out of bounds, but it will stay with the Phoenix. 1:29 left here in the first quarter at the WFCU Center in the OFSAA OFSAA AA bronze medal game. Interior pass on the zone defense leads to a quagmire, and it ends up going off of Ashbury last, and it will be St. Francis ball on the baseline. 21 seconds on the shot clock. 123, quick three after the inbound, and it's good. Knocking down the three. Max Riddell opens up a 16-9 lead here in the first quarter. Pemberton swings it. Spiteri has the ball knocked away but gets it back, faces up, looks for a cutter.
He's going to back him down. Going to back him down, Brett. He looked like he was going after it. Instead, he sets the screen.
Pemberton. Spiteri.
Shot clock at 10. And out.
And Pemberton ends up in the front row. Phoenix ball, less than a minute to go here in the first quarter in the OFSAA bronze medal game. Mbaya gets a screen from Riddell, gives it to Riddell for the three. Just pops out. Offensive rebound, kick back out. Kasambo has it. He settles it down, will draw, and draw the foul on the drive. Key offensive rebound there led to Kasamba drawing the foul and getting to the free throw line. A 7-point lead with 2 free throws coming with 30 seconds to go here in the frame.
Despite a series of turnovers, a relatively speedy quarter.
I would agree.
And the St. Francis boys have done their job coming all the way in from St. Catharines competing for this bronze medal. Ashbury College is an Ottawa region team. Local champion.
Yeah, I was surprised to find out that they were at the AA level. Back when I was in school, they were a single A powerhouse.
Yeah, so the new designation for them.
Good. Always good to see growth in those strong programs.
A chance for them to win their back-to-back bronze medals here, as they're the defending bronze medal winners from last year at the AA level.
Defense
sounds like they've moved their single A status up to AA.
Absolutely. Pemberton splits the defender. What a move there. Off the glass and good for 2.
Huckabone.
And that's going to be the end of the third quarter. Huckabone with the bucket gives Ashbury some life heading into the second quarter here. Instead of being down by 9, by 8, pardon me, you're only down by 6, and that's a big bucket.
Yeah, I like the playmaking ability there. It doesn't always have to be a penetrate and shoot. You got to be a playmaker and draw the attention so you can then create for your teammates.
And of course, this whole week is much more than just about basketball. There's a banquet that precedes the tournament. We know University of Windsor head coach Chris Cheng got to speak with that group at the banquet.
A few words there, and Dr. Patrick Xavier Smith was talking about stigma enigma and helping the kids and educate them on those issues. So very, very important, both a sports and a personal mental health message.
And this is, in the last maybe decade, this is probably like 6 or 7 times that we've hosted a boys OFSAA championship. What do you think that says about the quality of tournament that Windsor as a city puts on?
Well, I'm going to go the other way. It's the quality of volunteers in this region, because
makes a big difference.
None of this happens without the incredible amount of volunteers. But it's also the passion for the game. You know, I remember, I think one of the last times when Herman was the host, and Matt Loback, who's one of the committee chairs, along with Aaron Martin from Riverside High School. Matty was over at Herman High School, and he convened that one, and Pete Cusimano was the AAA coordinator. Matt was the AA coordinator, and I think at the same time they had a AAA volleyball in town. So amazing amount of passionate people about their sport, and says it's a tip of the cap to the Rose City and its population. You know, that this is so many people here behind the scenes making this thing go.
And of course, Matt Loback, his father Larry, been a fixture in the Windsor basketball scene for decades. In the second quarter, here comes St. Francis, where's Kasamba on the opening possession, scores a big bucket and puts his team back up by 8.
Too easy for Kasamba getting to the basket, although they forced him left.
Spot up 3 early, leads to a miss, and here comes St. Francis. What do you think maybe some of the conversations between these two teams were in between quarters, James?
Oh, from their coaching standpoint, well, I'd like to see just a little more giddy up from Ashbury. They seemed a little too passive. Yet who's got the giddy up to start this quarter? It's St. Francis.
Ben Lannon with the 3 there, and it's a 11-point game, 22-11. Ashbury needs to respond. Turnover.
Force. So they're starting to get, while they're down by 11, double digits here, now they're forcing and giving up baskets at the other end. So Huckabone is the one who turned it over, and he did not even cross half on defense. So not a good sign. That's just a mental breakdown as well. You got to be first back if you're turning it over.
4 consecutive points for Kasamba. Wow. And there's another turnover. Lannon finds a hole in the defense and has the ball knocked out of bounds on the drive, but St. Francis will keep it.
Yeah, it's needed. This is
going to be the first timeout of the game.
McKinnon that called the timeout here, definitely needed, and maybe even before this.
6:36 to go here in the second quarter. And James, me and you, we've done pro games, college games, and it's surprising how fast the high school game goes. You're only got 8 minutes in that quarter, so if you don't quell a run real early in that quarter, it can be a really big problem for your team.
Real costly, and I think part of it is, and you mentioned Coach Chang at the banquet, and having listened and watched Coach Chang this year, as much as you want to have timeouts for later and you want to save them for a special specific play or action, sometimes you just have to coach this moment is what Coach Chang talks about, and that's exactly what maybe Coach McKibben got away from. The standard rule is you kind of go down 9, you call the timeout there. Maybe he could have called it earlier when they started the run of turnovers that led to now this spread, which is 13 points at this point. So, but I do see this is a veteran team. They got 40 games under their belt. Yeah. They're not going to go anywhere, but they do need to dig in and get something. They got to definitely turn this by half before halftime. So 6 minutes to get back in it, because it can go away in a hurry.
Well, it starts with one defensive possession here. St. Francis on the baseline. Kalonji on the inbound. Al-Qaed gives it to Lannon. Nice defense there. Here's Huckabone.
Part of it.
Worku leaves it short, follows up, leaves it short again.
Yeah, he's got to find the backboard.
Missed opportunity for Ashbury there. And here comes Kasamba looking to attack. It looked like it went off of a foot. Here's Pemberton now. Cross-court pass. Augustine back to Pemberton. Quick ball movement. Good defense there.
That needs to be thrown much higher. What's the call? Kick. What was this one?
Kalonji causes the turnover, and then they're going to call a foul.
Wow. I saw absolutely no action there at all.
And I think that was only the third foul that we've had. I think we only had 1 or 2 in the first quarter.
A little tougher seeing the action from the hockey booth here at the home of the Spitfires, but obviously referee Molden had a much better angle at it than I did.
And as you said, this is a much different environment than in the games that they played earlier today. How much does this maybe play a role in their depth perception when shooting the ball?
Well, this came up in our discussion of the Consolation Championship, and part of it is the depth perception, I think, is the biggest thing. So you've got a bigger court. That's a nice 3 there. Huge. Boy, St. Francis is starting to run away with it here. You've got a bigger court. It's wider. It's longer than the traditional high school courts they play in. But what's most challenging is there's no backdrop. There's no wall or curtain. So they're not quite used to the optics. That's a travel. Not quite used to the optics. And so you'll usually see that leads, especially in the first quarter, to some errant shots, some little miscues on the long ball.
And after the turnover, St. Francis will take over. They're up by 16 points here in the second quarter, 27-11 over Ashbury. Pelez. And they're going to travel on Pelez, and it will go the other way. Subs coming in for St. Francis, as Pemberton is set to receive the ball on this possession. 5:07 to go here in the second in the OFSAA bronze medal game. And a big three there from Ashbury. Needed that one real bad. Number 12 knocking it down. That's Caden Augustin. 5'11", grade 10 player.
Looked confident right there. Catch and shoot for three. Must be the purple shoes.
One of 3 grade 10s on this roster for Ashbury.
Travel. St. Francis has had a tremendous year in the Lakes region, the St. Catharines area, coming off a 26-8 overall record with a 9-0, ran the table in league play. Their only losses on the 8 side were to AAA teams. So sporting a tremendous record there are the Phoenix.
Huckabone kicks it out. Augustine once again, that one's off the mark, quickly rebounded and pushed up the floor. Carpenter to Mbaya. Sanko over to number 5, Riddell. Off the mark, rebounded by Worku.
Yeah, by who else? Worku.
A workhorse. Pemberton off the bounce. Nice finish with the right hand on the left side.
Tremendous little hesitation in there for the Colts.
Mm-hmm. He's definitely got next level skill.
Ashbury College, another tremendous year as well. 30-2. 30-2.
Wow.
Only losses for them were to AAA teams. Sorry, 1 AAA team and 1 loss in league play. So
iron sharpens iron. If you can get quality league play. Back when I played for Amherst, we used to love the fact that we used to play against Herman and Forster every year.
Forster, yeah.
And another bucket there from St. Francis makes it 29-16. 3 minutes left to go here in the first half. Ashbury's got to go on a run.
Diamu, 2 baskets for him. Deep. Pemberton.
Good rotation on the ball, just a little too much.
Down 13, 3 to play. Make your move. Final 3 minutes. You could win this and make it a ball game. Well, that's pretty. I think he's got that depth perception thing handled from the top. He was a little off from the corner, but I need to see the Colts feet in the hot hand.
Caden Augustine with back-to-back triples makes it 29-19, and they'll call a travel on that possession by St. Francis.
It is a mystery. Again, closer to the action is referee Mulder than I am.
And we're going to have another timeout here with 2:28 to go here in the second quarter, as Ashbury trying to fight their way back into this one. We're down by as many as 16 points, now down by 10.
And it's a number that becomes manageable in the final 2:28. If they could chip away at it here, you want to get that maybe 6 or less would be tremendous, and then carry some momentum. Even though you're at the lower end of the scoreboard, you're still carrying some momentum into the second half.
And I think, of course, every coach will say it starts at the defensive end of the floor. What have you seen defensively from both sides that has either impressed you or needs a little
Well,
more?
I'm seeing tired legs. There's not a lot of get back, and we've already mentioned it. We don't need to belabor the point. It's big
a long tournament,
multiple games, over just a short period of time. It's such a challenge. So that's my biggest one there. I think that the Colts have been doing a tremendous job. Ashbury has been doing a tremendous job of handling the boards. It's just that it's transition and turnovers that's hurting them so far. And at the other end, until we just saw those, Augustine hit 2 of his last 3-point attempts. That's a mini run that they've been on. They're only at 19 right now.
Augustine, 5'11", grade 10 player.
He seems longer than that.
Yes, he does.
We'll see. Looks like the timeout. They're gonna go to the hot hand right there. But again, nice defense, pushing him out well past the 3-point line.
Kasamba pushing Augustine past the 3-point line.
Looks like a hell of a defender.
And Augustine finds his own
Great
shot.
answer. Augustine, 8 of his team's last 8 points.
And now it's an 8-point game. The spark they need. Kasamba in response.
Number 8 shooting it. How many 8s we're going to have here? Jeepers.
Rebounded by number 1, Ben
leave it
Barrett.
in his hands. It's his decision. Shoot, dish, distribute, but you've got to leave it in his hands. Well, he didn't need to.
He didn't need to do that.
I think that was tipped off of the Phoenix.
Kasamba with the offensive rebound, puts it off glass and good for 2.
That's way too. And Worku was deep on the post at the offensive end, didn't bust his tail to get back, and he has been their sole defensive rebounder, and that cost him. Was it Augustine that made that, or who was the number 8 for? He tremendous there. Whoa, out of control. That's not a call. Oh boy, that is not a call in today's game.
Getting himself to the free throw line on the foul call, Quentin.
And what I'm
Demo.
challenged is the defender was in control, regardless of where his hands went. The offensive player was out of control. You can't reward an out-of-control attack with the call when the defender did nothing but back up.
Yeah, you would see that in some league play where just a guy would just go from half court, just run, and he would get bumped and get to the free throw line. And in high school, when someone's 220 pounds, 6'2",
they're
that's
big,
scary.
Some of these are big lads. I don't want to stand in front of a Wuku.
I remember one guy back when I played against Kennedy, a guy named Reese Gavin, and this guy was probably 6'3" and just as thick.
A block.
A human block. And
Mr. and Mrs. Gava's favorite son.
So a zone press here. Ashbury gets it to the middle. But a missed opportunity to attack the basket there. Here's Augustine. Down by 11. Worku gets the pass from Augustine in the corner. Long 2. No, that's a 3. Huckabone. They'll say that he stepped on the baseline and it will be out of bounds. Turnover. So St. Francis mixing it up on the defensive side there. Slowing up Ashbury with the zone press. And the Phoenix have an 11-point lead with 50 seconds to go in the half. Mbaya to Riddell. Well off the mark, and it will be off of Kasamba and Ashbury ball. Off the bounce and attacking. Getting to the free throw line is Julian Terrace. The 6'1" grade 12 student coming off the bench, making an impact. Spiteri will come in for Worku. Worku's got a nice glaze going on him there. He's been working hard. Already played earlier today, as we said.
Yeah, and when you have workhorse responsibilities like Worku does, it's tough to keep your energy. Lactic acid sets in. I think the halftime break will do him wonders.
Second free throw missed. It's an even 10 points. Mbaya. Kasamba. A little bit of a zone look from Ashbury here.
Yeah, a little 1-2-2 kind of a matchup. The weakness is in the middle.
So a screen. Kasamba.
Yeah, wrong decision to dribble drive against a 1-2-2. You need to pass. Maybe one dribble. Oh, look at that. Got by at the top, and that's the problem defensively. If you're not sure what your assignment is, that needs to be stopped at the top. Unlucky for Barid, as he was not able to stop the penetration, but it was before the shot. 0.7 is only enough for a tip. This has got to go up. Can't catch this one. Oh, he's going to design it. That might be. If you don't use 2, you're going to lose them anyway.
Yep.
So, coach is going to take the opportunity here and design a play which will require a non-catch. 0.5 is about the very minimum you need. I think the referees will tell you that you can actually get a tip or a quick touch release. But 0.7 might allow you a bit of a catch, but I'd like to see the tip over the top here and just hope for the best. It's an unlikely probability, but it's a chance.
Yeah, if anything, it might be like a curl at the elbow or something for a little jumper. But anyway, I think it would have to be a play at the rim here in the final moments of the first half. Of course, this tournament's been going on for 3 days now. It's been at 3 different centers.
Yeah.
And of course, that takes a lot of coordination on a lot of different fronts.
And just to get the broadcast to you, we got the team of Andrew Suliak, who's been tremendous in coordinating his fine lads. Today on the broadcast is none other than Tyleague Birch and Braden Whittle. Have done a great job of covering the game from the camera angles and statistics and information for you. So appreciate their work and Andrew's leadership. And and the site management has been tremendous. The updates online, so parents that aren't able to make the trip or teachers and friends can get all that information online, including the broadcast. So well done by the volunteers. There it is, catching a throw. Oh,
not bad.
Went for the bank too.
Yeah. Well, like we said, it's going to have to be a quick catch and shoot. Shot does not fall, but St. Francis takes a 10-point lead into the halftime break. Not an insurmountable lead if you're Ashbury.
No, they did chunk it down, but of course we did say, and it probably, well, put it this way, it's St. Francis is to lose at this point because Ashbury's got a bit of a, you like to see that have been cut down into single digits, and I said get some momentum going back your way, but boy, you're going to need a little adrenaline pump here, I think, at halftime. A little pep talk from both coaches to get things rolling.
I like the approach from Ashbury. Don't need to go all the way into the locker room to have some privacy. Let's get it all hashed out right now. Let's get it all. Let's talk about it right now. You only get a 8-minute break. And are we going to take a break?
We're taking a break.
All right, we're going to take a short break. We'll be back for third quarter action here on OFSAA.on.ca. Thanks for watching. All right, welcome back from our halftime break here at the WFCU Center. St. Francis and Ashbury coming out of their respective breaks and getting some game planning done at the same time. A 10-point deficit for Ashbury, and they will have opening possession here of the second half. Maybe have some more luck at this end of the basket than they did in the opposite side. Brett Hedges alongside James J.K. Kennedy, former Windsor Lancer captain of the basketball team and Hall of Famer, joining us here today.
Brett, it's great to be here and a part of the basketball presentation from the Rose City of the AA bronze medal and coming up the gold medal game. And as we mentioned, this is an important part of the game specifically for Ashbury to get back into it. First 3 minutes.
Here's Augustine. Good defense from Kasamba.
Wow.
Leads to a turnover.
Kasamba's got freaky long arms. Leads to a lot of turnovers, hands on the ball.
And they're going to call a charge.
I think it was, yes.
I think Mr. Kasamba might have a couple of letters of intent in his mailbox after this weekend.
No kidding. Kasamba, he got a little banged up there as well. But boy, what a headsy play! Your team misses the layup, but you're headsy enough to jump in front of the dribble. And I always like the pass out. I like the pass ahead, break. The ball moves faster than the dribble. So not a great move by Ashbury's Pemberton to get that out of there.
Nice behind the back dribble from Mbaya, kicks it in the corner, and that's short.
Settling for the 3 and a 10-point lead. I got no problem with about 4 more passes and a layup, but these kids, they love the 3. You know, some coaches go by the simple motto, it's better to take an early and open 3 than a rushed, 8, a rushed late.
Yes, and I've heard you say that as well.
Yeah, I'm trying to give credit to the other guy. I didn't make that up.
Yeah.
So.
But it's a philosophy that some people don't, not all people have.
And I think it's more true with the 24-second clock, which I'm a big advocate for getting the high school game to the 24 clock. Let's play at what everybody else in the world does, except the U.S., and play the FIBA rules. I don't mind the modified 3-point line, but maybe they can go 24 o'clock and reset the 24, but a 35 clock and a 35 reset. You can't be half pregnant, so let's jump in there.
Let's do it. There's Pemberton now on the rebound from Huckabone. Down 10 here. No team has scored here in the opening minute of the third quarter.
No harm off the turnover, but
Augustine for 3.
There you go. Been there. Clearly their most consistent player. Augustine now has 3 threes and a deuce. So 11 points for him, leading his team in scoring easily.
11 out of 25 points, and he gives his team a bit of confidence. Here's Kasamba handing it off to Mbaya. Kasamba with long 2, and he's going to draw a foul as Huckabone.
Wow, I did watch the tail end of that, and again, Kasamba, let's just give him the credit.
Yep.
A call or not, he knew Huckabone was just close enough that he could take that little bit of a fallback, plain and simple dive. But he's going to shoot 3. Oh, ball don't lie.
Do watching tournaments like this bring you back to when you were in high school, James?
Well, we didn't have the tournament finish like this, but yeah, it does in the sense that you remember the days when you could actually play 5 games in 3 days. the youth and vitality.
And I remember, if I'm right, I believe OFSAA back then was all single elimination. If you lost a game, you were done. It didn't matter if you came up the day before.
There was no chance for a repertoire there. You were done.
Huckabone.
Yeah, that's the pass. That had to be made. Good basketball decision. Left-handed dribble drive by the initial shielded defense, and a good drop-off to Warku.
6-point game now. Ashbury fighting their way back, and there's a turnover. Yep. Augustine picks it up. Augustine inside the 3-point line, lines up a jumper, just a little too short.
Very confident for a grade 10 player, extremely confident.
Yeah, I'm kind of trying to figure out who he reminds me of. And he's a very unique player, but he looks very fundamentally sound. Here's Mbaya. Gets a screen, Kasamba waited too long on the pass, and it ends up off of a defender. Luckily for St. Francis, they keep possession. They're up by 6 with 5:23 to go here in the third quarter. Sub coming in for St. Francis. You know what? Augustine kind of reminds me of Duncan Robinson of the Miami Heat. That's who it is. Long player.
I like the analogy, Duncan Robinson. I think he's a little. Well, you know what? I don't think that the program is accurate here of all things.
His height. He looks like he's about 6'2", 6'3", and it says 5'11".
He's not 5'11".
He might be 6'4". He looks taller than Worku.
And again, the hockey call from up here above, we can't really tell. But
No.
I did get a chance to watch them this morning, and I can guarantee you, he's filling it well above 6 foot. That's for sure.
Maybe went through a growth spurt since the beginning of the year.
Duncan Robinson, you're going with the Michigan shooter. Now he's on a
Miami
big
Heat.
spree with 3-pointers in the pros right now. Yeah.
I think he's hit over almost 250 threes this year.
Yeah, he set some mark that hadn't been hit before since
By an undrafted rookie or something like that.
Yeah, by an undrafted rookie, exactly.
Lannon. Low post. Kasamba's got to step on the defender.
Oh.
Gets it off the glass and one.
Yeah, Kasamba has been a dagger in the side of the Ashbury College Colts throughout this whole game. Unbelievable. Really, really tough to play against.
Sakadi Kasamba.
Kasamba. Good Irish kid.
Says that Kasamba is actually a grade 11 student here. Number 8, standing at 6'1". So Sakade Kasamba has the chance to give his team a little bit more breathing room. That big bucket there gave him an 8-point lead. Good rotation on that ball. It's a 9-point game, 36-27.
Traditional way after Ashbury worked so hard to kind of pull it in challenging numbers, but 8's not insurmountable. So
No, you get a couple
9.
defensive stops. I always say if you're within 10, you've got a chance.
Yeah. Well, the 3-point game line has just changed everything in terms of comebacks. It can change in a hurry.
Mm-hmm. Here's Pemberton, going to go one-on-one, attacking the heart of the defense. Travel.
Yeah, indecisive.
I would have liked to see him pull up from just inside that free throw line there. I think he had the defender on the run. Could have done a 2-foot jump stop, gotten himself an easy 2. Easy for me to say that.
Shit, from up here, we haven't missed a shot.
Exactly. I haven't missed a shot in 10, 11 years.
Early 3. Boom, boom.
Rebounded there by number 7, Julian Terrace. Pemberton off the bounce. Going to go, good defense from number 11, poking that ball away. That's Alan Kalonji. So Augustine's going to be the inbound man. Pemberton at the free throw line. Leaves it short.
I'm pretty sure Pemberton's dad is the assistant coach for the Ashbury Colts. Mr. Darian Pemberton is a 3 there.
Ben Lannon with another shot from deep here. I believe he had one just before the end of the first half, and there's going to be a kickball. And a nice mix-up of starters and bench players right now for St. Francis. I believe only one starter on the floor right now, or sorry, 2.
2, yeah.
2 starters, Mbaya and Kasamba. Give your guys some rest. Augustine gets pushed off the 3-point line. Drives. Gets his own board.
Oh, he made an easy shot tough there. He did a reverse pivot, pivoted off his back foot, and had a little bit of a right-handed jump hook. A little more patience. Whoa.
And there's going to be a foul late there as
Yeah.
Kalonji went to the basket.
Pemberton, I think, with the call here.
Number 11, Isaiah Pemberton. That's the 15th foul by the Ashbury Bulls. Penalty situation.
Alan Colongi will number 11, 5'10", in grade 11 here, so be eligible to come back for this team. And I like the balance here on this Phoenix roster. They got 5 grade 11s, 5 grade 12s, and 1 grade 10. Because sometimes some teams you'll see
some continuity. Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes you'll see just teams load up on grade 12 players, like 8, 9 guys, and only leave the end of the bench to maybe some grade 11 or grade 10s. So it's smart coaching there. Here's Ashbury, Huckabone. Worku in the low post. He's got the size advantage.
That's just to see him bounce him off there. That's just too strong.
Worku.
It was
Lannon.
Is that 2 in a row for him?
Yes, sir.
Personally for him, yeah. My answer would be Worku in this one. They don't have an answer for him inside.
And after Ashbury had clawed themselves back in within 6 points, I want to say it's now back up to 14. Thanks to back-to-back threes from Ben Lannon.
Huckabone.
We're going to call travel on Worku. Looked like his wrists might have been held.
Did they?
Yes, they did.
Oh, boy, goodness.
Subs in for, pardon me, subs in for St. Francis. Mbaya. Nice drive and dish there, unable to hang on to it.
Got to catch that inside. A drop pass, even though they didn't lose it, is almost as good as a turnover.
Kasamba, unable to find the bottom of the cup, but chases it down. Unable to keep it in bounds, but Ashbury will take over. Can't knock the hustle. Kasamba's been everywhere here in this game so far. Coming in off the bench, number 14.
MOP candidate right there, boy. Most outstanding today.
Braden Wilson comes in for Worku.
Straight, no junk, just straight up man-to-man defense. Good help side presence.
Nice Euro step from Huckabone.
Yeah, that looked good. Again, that's probably the tail of the tape right there, is that everything looks okay, but there's just not a finish. There's not a sense of urgency. And at the other end, I don't think the Phoenix are doing anything special. No. It's just it just seems lackadaisical for, and maybe they want to play for it. 2 years ago a silver, last year a bronze. They're tracking towards a bronze again this year.
Huckabone with a nice crossover behind the back combo, got himself open and drew a foul. There'll be baseline possession for St. Francis. The Phoenix. Terrace.
You know, coming into this, Coach McKinnon really felt that they were a top-seeded team. That went to the Frontenac, and they ended up coming in with the 5th seed. I think the Phoenix were the 7th, something like that. So a little bit of upset along the way.
And you like to see that as well. Like to see some of those lower-ranked teams knock off somebody.
The gold medal game will feature the number 1 and number 2 ranked teams. So the organizing committee did a very good job evaluating the talent and their results. And they'll be competing for gold.
I believe it was 10 years ago that it was Herman when Windsor hosted the championships at St. Clair College. Herman fell.
I was Mulder's year.
Jordan Gauthier.
Gauthier's years.
Gauthier,
oh
yep.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I grew up with
Went
him.
on to play and have a terrific career at Ryerson University.
Yep. He was one of those first big recruits for Ryerson at the time as they made their way up into a national powerhouse.
Yep.
And who did they lose to? Timmins. The Timmins Blue Devils back in the day. Remember guys like
Hinterland.
Antoine Chandler on that team,
You know,
Antoine Ferguson.
When you get to nowhere and then just go a little bit east, you'll find Timmins.
Perfect. 17-point game. Third quarter here.
When you said St. Clair College, I thought you were referring to the year that Mulder won it with
CCH?
CCH.
Yes.
And if I recall, I can't remember if they declared AA or AAA. They were talented enough to play AAA.
Yes.
But enrollment designation gave them the AA designation.
Yeah. Yeah, they won AAA many times back back when I was in school with Tyrone Crawford.
Oh, yeah. And of course, we
Javon
the aforementioned
Langlois.
Mulder, who's
Yeah.
now been signed for a multi-year, 3-year contract with the Golden State Warriors. Great shout out to him and representing our Windsor basketball community.
And when he came up, he was just known as a dunker. Like
Yeah.
he wasn't a very well-rounded athlete. So he is you could tell he's just put in so much work to become an NBA level athlete, and it's so exciting to see.
And you would say he's now only known as a shooter, and that was what the general comment was, is that nobody had an idea, other than maybe Pete Cusimano, but what a well-rounded player he is from defense. That's
Yeah.
the one thing that he probably earned the contract on.
Yeah.
And then his ability to create for his teammates, and of course, knock down a ton of threes.
Absolutely. Averaged 12.3 points per game over a 6-game stint on his 10-day contract.
Say it again. What was that number?
12.3 points per game. In 6 games. He has a career high of 18, I think. That was against Philly.
Yeah, but the taxes on that contract alone are going to kill him. I don't even. You should have just gone back, don't you think?
Yeah. And that's going to be the end of the third quarter here. Well, if you come out of the University of Kentucky, chances are you're a good ball player.
You're going to what?
If you're coming out of the University of Kentucky, chances are you're a pretty good ball player.
Yeah, you're going to have something there. And what was his college? He was at the
Vincennes.
Vincennes, not Van. Vincennes.
Yes. So.
But it's so nice to see, and I think there's a buzz in the Windsor community. You get tournaments like this, and the two local teams, both Herman and Riverside being the host team, did a tremendous job. They fought right into the quarters, so that was nice to see both of them, get to the quarters, if you will.
Yeah.
And it's an example, and both of them, by the way, have lost to the gold medal contending teams. So Herman went down to the Frontenac Falcons.
And they gave them a run.
Yeah, well, to date, to this time, they've given them their closest match.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly right. And then Riverside, kind of came out guns a-blazing, but then Crescent really proved why they were the second seed. But my point being is that local representation, and you see these young kids that are working so hard at all club levels, both boys and girls, and then you get somebody like a Mulder who gets recognized for his hard work.
Yeah.
It creates that buzz. It really does
Big
for our
time.
sport. So
Absolutely.
It's wonderful, yeah.
Michael Mulder, best of luck with the Golden State Warriors. Can't wait to see if he's got a multi-year contract. He's going to be with that team during a significant build.
Yeah, he's going to be there, and the elements and all the nitty-gritties was not revealed about the contract, but I'm sure NBA rules. He's got at least half of it guaranteed. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So we've got a 17-point game here. St. Francis with the large lead. Ashbury.
Kind of like an anaconda, just putting the squeeze on the Falcons here.
And as we've said, it's not like Ashbury hasn't had the chance or the opportunity.
Exactly right. Too strong. Hook a bone.
They're going to go no shot on the basket. Sorry, no basket there. They're going to go baseline.
Fouls on Riddle. Wide L. Yep. I wouldn't mind seeing a little post-up action by Worker. Give it into him. There you go. Simple inbounds play.
Find the
Rub
cutter.
screen to a down screen. And see, there's, again, tail of the tape. Rub screen to a down screen. Can't get the layup by Huckabone. Other end, he's going to score this. Oh, I tried to anticipate that one. But that's really what's happened to Ashbury throughout this game.
Pemberton on the bounce. Reverse pivot.
I like that move. A little back foot pivot. But not able to cut in, and we're already a minute into the fourth quarter, ladies and gentlemen, on AA OFSAA TV.
Thanks for tuning in, folks, from wherever you are watching. Here's Kasamba.
Well, I'm sure most of our viewing audience is in the St. Catharines and Capital Region.
Well, good to see you guys. I enjoy Ottawa. I wouldn't want to be there for all the snow they have right now, but I enjoy Ottawa.
Yeah. A couple of Windsorites just won the U Sport Championship.
Yes.
Going to Carleton University in Ottawa.
Isaiah Osborne.
Isaiah Osborne and
Munis.
Munis Tutu.
That's good. That's a good. It's nice to see for Isaiah to get that Finals MVP as well.
And he was lights out.
Yeah.
Isaiah, you can say whatever you like about him, but when he switches it on, he is. Well, it was proven right there. He's one of the best players in all of Canada.
Absolutely, of course.
Has found a home with the Ravens.
Yeah, it's good to see. Went to the University of Windsor for a year, then went to UTEP, kind of got lost there for a little bit, comes back home.
Yeah, there was a coaching change,
Yep.
and it kind of wasn't going in the right direction for him.
Nope.
And then, at the time, he knew that Dave Smart was channeling towards some national representation, and good steal here.
Augustine.
See if they can get Augustine in transition, and again, there's the tail of the tape.
All Russian, no
Positive
finish.
to a negative, yeah. And just back to Isaiah, he's carving out a great opportunity for himself up there to go back to back to back.
Yes.
As they say at Carleton, they do not rebuild; they just reload.
Absolutely. Max Riddell hands it off to Kasamba.
And Kasama gets it right back somehow.
Kasamba one-on-one with Augustine. Hands it off to Mbaya. So we got 15 on the clock here. Might be a concerted effort to work the clock here from St. Francis. 5:50 to go here in the fourth. And back when I played, we didn't have a shot clock whatsoever. So if a team had a 10, 12-point lead, remember Brennan was notorious for this. If they had a lead in the second half, they would just stall you for the second half.
Yep.
And if you overplayed on defense, they'd just hit you with a backdoor cut and you'd be down by 2 more. So
yeah, the old Dean Smith, North Carolina, 4 corners, take the air out of the ball, most boring way to play the beautiful game of basketball.
There's a
soft
bucket.
one.
Max Riddell.
What is he doing?
I think they're going to call. He's going to give him a. It's a lane
Always a coach.
violation.
Blake Enser was the women's coach before Chantal Vallée, and boy, they're down. Talk about insult to injury. They're down 19, and he's giving them an inbounds lesson and took it away from them. Wow, that's harsh.
Blocked down low, but getting it back and scoring is Max Riddell.
Wow.
21-point game, 50-29. Huckabone. Drive, kick.
Torres has got to shoot that.
Worku.
Warku with the Mikan.
The old Mikan drill. 50-31.
Why not?
Offensive rebound goes to
Dead
Riddell.
feet by the Colts. That was a
Kasamba.
long striding Euro there.
Boom,
that
boom,
was
boom.
impressive. Everything but the basket. Wow.
Foul called on Riddell. Pardon me, number 6, Cole Carpenter of St. Francis. Second team foul as our PA announcer, Mr. Aaron Sanders.
The melodic voice of Aaron Sanders. Nice of him to step up, create some atmosphere here in the big house that Spitfire's built. They're going to wipe it out. You got to let that go. I'm not positive, but yeah, I think he did move it a bit.
Looked like it did. Yeah, it looked a little awkward at the end there. Subs coming in for St. Francis, head coach John Marcheterre, Jeremy Dela Cruz, and Patrick Sullivan, of course, in the gray jerseys.
Wow.
Went off a pair of feet.
I'm sounding like a broken record here. They create a positive situation or opportunity and just can't capitalize. although it did go off the Phoenix. That should have been pretty much a gather and a finish.
Timeout called by the Ashbury Colts.
All right. Timeout Ashbury with 4:26 to go here in the fourth quarter. St. Francis up 50-31 here in the OFSAA bronze medal game on OFSAA.on.ca. I'm going to take a short break. We'll be right back after the timeout. I just need to do that. Sorry. Oh, thanks. Don't have kids. They get you sick. All right, coming back out of the timeout, Ashbury. First one's on the floor. St. Francis with possession on the baseline. Or sorry, Ashbury with possession on the baseline.
Let's see what set piece they run on this blob, the baseline out of bounds. They're going in the classic set. Just a simple 2-2 look. We're going to get, I'm betting that Worku is going to be screen and roll here. So, he's just going to screen it. He's not even screening, he's just posting. Oh, instead they go to Pemberton.
Like the creativity of that play there, it draws a foul, and Pemberton will go to the free throw line. Had a strong first half. Hasn't been as instrumental in the offense in the second half here. Short on the first free throw.
If that is not an absolute
indication,
pure indication, picture of fatigue, and good for him. He answered with the second one, got his legs involved.
Yep, shook his head a little bit.
Yeah, even his dad is looking a little discouraged on the bench right now.
Kasamba. Worku pops out to push him past the three-point line. Mbaya. Open in the corner. Drive. Kick. And finish. Nice finish there from Andre Pelez to Cole Carpenter for two. 52-32. Augustine for three. His fourth triple of the game. So he's got 14 points. Mbaya to Kasamba. 3:25 to go here in the fourth quarter. Turnover. Here's Augustine.
That pass is not going through there. Not with Augustine. That was not 5'11" reach there. That was a nice long 6'3", little gallop. 2 in a row.
Yeah.
Telegraph passes, and now it's a chance for him to go to the stripe.
And if this young man's only in grade 10, it seems like the future is going to be bright for Ashbury. Augustine, as Huckabone goes to the bench, I believe Terrace as well took a seat. Yeah, Spiteri's in, as well as Ben Vered. Misses on the second free throw. 16-point game with just over 3 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter. OFSAA Bronze is on the line. Mbaya. Bucket is missed by Ashbury. Here comes the Phoenix. Mbaya defended by Pemberton. Gets a screen. Kasamba driving, leaves it for Pelez, and it's good. Great ball movement and excellent execution all game long from the Phoenix. Here is Augustine once again. Does he get the friendly roll? No. Worku trying to get that rebound, but it ends up in the hands of Lannon. Mbaya. Lannon short. And here's Augustine. Good behind the back dribble there. Second one gets him to the middle of the key, and they're going to call a double dribble. Subs coming in for both sides, two subs each. Timeout Ashbury, 1:57 to go here in the fourth quarter of this OFSAA bronze medal game on ofsaa.on.ca. Of course, we've got our gold medal game coming in at 3 p.m. And that's going to be exciting. Number 1 versus number 2.
And it's the Frontenac Falcons from Kingston.
Yes.
Tremendous record coming in, having only lost to OSBA teams, which are the Ontario Scholastic Basketball Association, and AAA teams. They're as good as any out there, and well-deserved of their number 1 ranking. Crescent is a private school. I believe they're in the Etobicoke area, but as a private school, and have put together a run of consistency through this tournament. You mentioned the fact that not Pemberton, but our grade 10 player
Augustine.
Here, Augustine is tremendous. Xavier Lee is going to be a player to watch in the next game. A little point guard, savvy player, grade 10's got a great upside on his game. Well-rounded both teams. It will be it's going to be I think it's going to be more of a chess match than a slog-out fight, but both teams, and they're well coached, so it's going to be a pleasure to watch and call.
I'm excited for that. Of course, less than 2 minutes to go here in this bronze medal game.
Here for St. Francis to go 3 years in a row at the AA level with a medal, from silver to bronze. So tip of the cap to them and their program. Really been doing well.
Nick Senko misses on the baseline.
And Augustine with the rebound. He's showing himself down the stretch.
Three ball from NBL distance.
Yeah, off the bat. I don't know if he recognized that. He was literally, he could have stepped up. They weren't on him that tight, but nice look from well deep was Kirkwood. I think that's Kirkwood out there. Can't really tell. Maybe it was Rutledge. Oh yes, the number is 6. It's Rutledge.
1:24 to go here in the fourth quarter. 54-36 for St. Francis. And coming out of the game with a round of applause is Mbaya. Grade 12 student. Would be surprised if I didn't see him on a U Sports roster in the next year or so.
Well, he's got some skills, that's for sure, and length.
Or college, whatever avenue he decides to go down. And
Rutledge left the corner.
He zigged when he should have zagged, and it leads to a turnover here. Less than a minute to go here in the fourth quarter. Coming out of the game now, number 4, Quentin Demo. Gets a hug from his coach.
Long season. Going to end with a medal.
And that's all you can ask for.
Yeah.
There's only 2 teams at the end of the year. Yeah.
3.
Or, sorry, only 2 teams get to win their last game of the year is what I mean. What I meant to say. In this tournament.
3. Consolation champion.
Oh, pardon me. Yes, sorry.
That's
Pardon
what we
me.
said at the top of the
I missed
broadcast,
the game earlier. Sorry. Spiteri.
Come on, fire it out, boy. Why not?
Get it out. Kalonji with the rebound. 25 seconds to go here in the OFSAA bronze medal game.
Fire it.
12 seconds.
If I'm a senior, I'm shooting this ball.
Oh, yeah. Well, congratulations to John Marcheter and the St. Francis CSS Phoenix, the 2020 OFSAA AA bronze medalists, after a convincing win over the Ashbury College Colts, 54-36. Congratulations to St. Francis on 3rd year in a row with a medal.
Medal ceremonies are
matching their feat from last year. Bronze in 2019, bronze in 2020. They always talk about the silver lining, but sometimes the bronze lining is just a little bit nicer. All right, we'll leave the cameras on for the medal ceremony, but our mics will be off. Enjoy the medal ceremony. Congratulations once again to St. Francis. A great season to Ashbury. We'll see you guys for the gold medal game at 3 p.m. Enjoy, folks.
Assisting in the ceremony is Mayor Matt Mullen. Starting with the Ashbury Colts, number 1, Ben Moran. Number 2, TK Nguyen. Number 6, Hayden Rutledge. Number 7, Julian Terrace. Number 11, Isaiah Pemberton. Number 12, Jaden Kirkwood. Number 13, Ben Huckaball. Caden Augustin. Number 14, Brandon Wilson. Number 16, Max Viteri. Number 7, Mickey Warku. Head coach Ian McKinnon. Assistant coach Eric Johansson. And Aaron Pemberton. Now for the bronze medalist, St. Francis Phoenix. Number 1, Ben Lennon. Number 3, Igor Laya. Number 4, Quentin Duemo. Number 5, Max Riddell. Number 6, Cole Carpenter. Number 7, Andreas Pelaez. Number 8, Sakedi Kasamba. Number 9, Nick Senko. Number 11, Alan Colonji. Number 13, Vlad Mundola Elijah. Number 14, Marco Al-Fayed. The head coach for the Phoenix, John Marchanteri. Assistant